Yeah, today's recap can be summed up in one single picture. Yeah, someone got Will Smith. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Perhaps the comeback of the year in Boston. The Angels are trying to even up the series against the Toronto Blue Jays, and Paul Goldschmidt is having one of the best months a baseball player has ever had. I want to save you guys some money, so if you're going to any concerts or baseball games anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. Now, we have some breaking news. I knew that this was going to come eventually if he kept being the worst pitcher in baseball, but Dallas Keuchel, the 2015 Cy Young, the 5-time Gold Glover, the 2-time All-Star, he has been DFA'd, aka released by the Chicago White Sox. And I don't blame them, because over his last 200 innings, he has been horrific with a combined 5.71 ERA and a 5.39 FIP. I called him batting practice yesterday, and he's been exactly that. Batting practice. So a team like the Yankees with Matt Blake, maybe the Mets, maybe the Rays, maybe the Dodgers, they could pick him up, try and fine-tune his mechanics, and turn him into a star again. Who knows? Okay, so let's go ahead and get this little situation between Joc Pederson and Tommy Pham out the way, and I'm just gonna let Joc Pederson explain what happened.
I put a player on the injured reserve when they were listed as out. I don't know, I looked up the rules and sent a screenshot of the rules, how it says that when a player is ruled out, you're allowed to put him on the IR. Yeah, I mean, it was over a year ago.
Where did he slap him? I mean, like,
Yep.
Yeah.
In the cheek.
So if you're a little bit confused, because I know that Joc Pederson was still probably surprised that it even happened and having to explain himself, he just maybe felt uncomfortable. Tommy Pham slapped Joc Pederson on his cheek because of some fantasy football rule. I don't know exactly what happened, who the player was, but yeah. Apparently this happened over a year ago, and Tommy Pham has been waiting for this day. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of that mess? Now let's talk about the game that was played yesterday. Matt Reynolds has been coming out of the woodworks lately. The 31-year-old phenom pelts an RBI double and then shows the young guys a thing or two about hustle. Tyler Stevenson owes him some dinner, because Stevenson is credited with the RBI after Matt Reynolds was able to score from second base. Brandon Drury connects on a mistake pitch from Carlos Rodon, and I thought the Reds were going to get schmacked by the Giants, so a little touche moment for me. And I have to tip my cap to Graham Ashcraft, 6 1/3 shutout in his second ever start against a really good team in the Giants. The Pham replacement, Almora, so because Tommy Pham slapped another player, obviously he got benched. Almora has a double for an RBI to score a keno and add one more on the catcher's interference. I've called this guy Adam Warren a bunch of times. His name is Art Warren. He comes in for nearly 2 innings of relief, and he notches his 3rd save. So that's pretty much it for the anarchy from yesterday. Trevor Rogers and Ian Anderson with the old-fashioned "this town ain't big enough for the both of us," because they both tossed 4 shutout innings. They're looking lethal as ever. But the only problem is the Braves have Austin Riley, 417 feet, thank you very much, and then Contreras and Demerit spray around some baseballs for 2 more RBIs. Oh no, Ian Anderson got tattooed for not 1, but 2 2-run bombs to lose his team the lead, and 2 fantastic starts were completely ruined within the span of about 17 seconds of each other. Ronald, he's been missing some time with a groin injury. He clutches up as a pinch hitter. He scores Matt Olson. He got fired up, and then Dansby Swanson got on, and Ozzie Albies, he bloops one, probably breaking controllers in the process as 2 come around to score, and Kenley Jansen now has 11 saves. Now, I do want to mention, even though Demerit had a solid game yesterday, he was demoted down to AAA, I believe, and the Braves have purchased the contract of Michael Harris, their top prospect. He was ranked 46th in all of baseball by Baseball America, and he's completely skipping AAA. In AA this year, he had 5 home runs, 11 stolen bases, and an 880 OPS. Again, this is AA, so is he going to be good? We don't know. You see that? It is 6-0 Boston, and there is absolutely no way they lose this game. Wrong. There's a 2-run missile from the very underrated Anthony Santander, and one of my fanboy players, someone that I've been tracking for a long time, Jorge Mateo. He is horrific offensively. He somehow is able to hit a 3-run shot for his 3rd of the year. He might be the best bad player in baseball because he has a paltry 64 OPS plus, but an insane 9 DRS at shortstop, which means he has been the best defender at shortstop of anyone this year. Jesus might be coming back, because what even are we watching? That's a 2-run bomb from Austin Hayes. Urias and Santander combined to steal the lead from the Boston Red Sox. Santander scores on a wild pitch, and Mountcastle lifts a sac fly as Rougned Odor plates Adley Rutschman on a single to make sure Boston fans suffer even more before heading out for the traffic That sucked. I am sorry, Boston fans. Yankees and the Rays, I can recap this in about 10 seconds, but we're going to be nice and we're going to go ahead and talk about it in depth. So there's a home run from Gleyber Torres, and then your friendly neighborhood UPS driver, Matt Carpenter, goes lefty-lefty. I mean, he looks like he could be a UPS driver with that mustache. Jamison Taillon gets more help from Gleyber in the 6th on a web jam, and Taillon only allowed 4 base runners through 8 shutout innings. So they got him from Pittsburgh, and the Yankees also got this dude, Clay Holmes, who now has thrown 24 consecutive scoreless innings. He has 6 saves, and in back-to-back games against the Rays, Yankees starting pitchers have gone 8 innings between Nestor Cortez and Jamison Taillon. I mean, Taillon and Cortez have both been better than Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's pitching today. Moving on over to the other New York team, the Mets grabbed 3 runs in the first on a couple sac flies, and then a little singy from Mark Canha. But if we know anything, that will not last long. And we called it. Pete Alonso using that dash strength to mash a 2-run tater. But fuzzy, Pete Alonso doesn't have a son. Well, his son is actually the Phillies. Francisco Lindor singles in Marte to start the scoring off again in the 4th, and Alonso wants another. He now has 12 home runs and is leading everyone with 45 RBIs. If you guys don't believe me, look at the screen right now. He also has a 152 OPS plus. He's on pace for 50 plus home runs, 150 RBIs. The Phillies end up scoring enough to make it a save situation, and Diaz, he seals it in an epic fashion, might I add. He strikes out the side, and the final pitch was nearly 102 miles an hour. The Twins and the Royals, Jorge Mr. Polanco is very quietly having a productive season. 5 home runs, 26 RBIs after that 2-run nuke. Urshela and Nick Gordon both single, and a few more. They make it 4-0, but the Royals say not so fast. They get an RBI triple from Bobby that started a 4-run third to tie it, and then in steps the Platinum Glover. Carlos Correa has 16 RBIs and just 130 at-bats. He missed some time with a hand injury. Bobby then matches him. He's heating up, folks. My AL Rookie of the Year pick now has 6 home runs, 22 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and his OPS plus is finally over 100. It's sitting at 105. Urshela and Gordon, they team up again. They deliver 3 RBIs on 2 swings. Luis Arias is so sick. After that RBI single, he's now hitting essentially 350 with the 161 OPS plus, and all I'm going to say, ladies and gents, this Twins offense is episode 1 of Stranger Things season 4 level of scary. They just mash. If you ever wanted to see prime Albert Pujols, watch the Cardinals in 2022. I know he's on the Cardinals, but I'm talking about Paul Goldschmidt. He now has a 345 batting average with 9 home runs and 36 RBIs with a sick 193 OPS plus, having one of the best months of May in the history of baseball. He's currently on an 18-game hitting streak. Brandon Woodruff unfortunately has to leave the game with an injury, which is not good for Cards fans. It's also not good that Edmundo Sosa triples in the 3rd run, and then Nootbaar and Helsley, they combine. How do you say his last name? Is it Helsley? I think that's how you say it. That's how it's spelled. They both combine to deliver the final blows, and this series is crucial as both of these teams are the top dogs in the Central. Milwaukee is still up by 3.5 games though. The Jays and the Angels. So Toronto goes up early on an Alejandro Kirk double play, which was immediately negated by a Velasquez single, and then this dude must have went to Jared. Bad joke. This one tied it up. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Matt Chapman, they don't go yard, but they answered every single time the Angels scored. Gurriel with a double, and then Chapman puts the ball in play to score Bradley Zimmer. Iggy gets credited with the unfortunate loss after allowing an unearned run after Lourdes Gurriel Jr.'s single turned into a Juan Lagares error. Romano channeled something. I don't know what it was, but he got angry. He struck out the side on 12 pitches, so he now has 5 saves, and the Jays send LA to their 2nd losing streak in the last few weeks. The Halos are just 4.5 games ahead of the Rangers. And now we're going to talk about the Rangers because I mean, they're playing very well. Jonah Heim, his new dad powers won't stop coming in clutch. There's 2 more RBIs. The A's do storm the Texas staff and take the lead, but Nate Lowe's 2-bagger in the 7th brings it to within 2, and Brad Miller's ground out makes it more sweaty for A's fans. And okay, it's time to get out the towels, maybe dab up your sweat a little bit because Oakland fans are really sweating after Adolis Garcia rips a game-tying RBI double, and then Ibanez and Simeon plate 3 more runs in the 9th. Did I say Marcus Semien? Okay, we'll talk about him in just a moment because Santana got his first save of the year, so good for him. But a quick update on Marcus. He's getting paid $25 million to hit 193 with 0 home runs and a 47 OPS plus. I'm just hoping that he bounces back because that right there is all-time thievery from Marcus Semien in terms of big contracts given out. The Mariners and the Astros, I picked the Mariners to win this game. I never bet on sports, but I had a good feeling about this one. And looky there, J-Rod, this AL Rookie of the Year race is going to be tight. We know that Jeremy Pena is probably the front runner right now, but Bobby Witt Jr. is heating up, and J-Rod now has 6 home runs, 12 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, and 3 outs above average, which means he's playing elite defense in center field. And speaking of Rookie of the Year, the 2020 Rookie of the Year, Kyle Lewis, is back in the lineup. This makes me so happy. Almost 450 feet for his first home run of the season, which is huge for the Seattle team, and bad news for Jared Kelenic because Jared Kelenic was not good. Ty France and Taylor Trammell, they wow people as well. They both sock solo shots, and for the first time in a while, the Mariners offense actually looked potent and they showed some life, and they were also aided by a dominant outing by Chris Flexen. He flexed his stuff yesterday. 1 earned run in 7 innings. He ended his day with 6 strikeouts. The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, Edwin Rios has 6 home runs and 16 RBIs in 68 at-bats. He is quite literally mashing his way into more playing time, or maybe Dave Roberts is just using him to perfection. Betts pummels his 13th home run, so both he and Paul Goldschmidt are competing for the NL Player of the Month right now. This was all for Ryan Pepio, who was solid. He didn't make it through 5, but he only allowed 1 earned run. Trey Turner drives home 2 between the 6th and the 7th. This one on a bomb, and then that one on a little RBI single. The Dodgers improved to 7-2 versus the Diamondbacks, which is crazy because the Diamondbacks are not a bad team. It's just the Dodgers are 31-14, and they are just flat out good at the game of baseball. Last but not least, the Padres and the Pirates. Brian Reynolds gets his hands through the zone, blasts his 6th home run of the year. Diego Castilla helps out Jose Quintana with 2 more runs on a double in the 4th. Quintana tosses up zeros after zeros. He somehow has found the fountain of youth in Pittsburgh, because the Mans has a 2.15 ERA in 46 innings, but it was all for nothing though, because Luke Voit, the 2020 home run king, was back at it. He ties it on 1 swing, and then Will Myers drives home the go-ahead and eventually the game-winning RBI as Mr. Rogers has 17 saves. That trade so far has been beautiful. All right, before we show the web gems and this day in MLB history, I wanted to give a shout out to some super thanks, folks. We have one from Cade. He thinks that Franchi Cordero is comparable to Yordan. Maybe they're raw power, but that's about it. And then also Rufo, thank you so much for the extra love. I appreciate all of your support lately. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Also subscribe. We're on the road to 400,000 subs. Enjoy the web gems. And also 15 years ago today, Barry Bonds passed Babe Ruth.
The pitch. Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep to center. Out of here. 7:15. The wait is over, and they are on their feet.
Little chip shot to right. Aquino coming on, makes the catch. Runner 2/3 of the way. Fire to first, easily doubled up.
Part of that is because of the offensive struggles. Mountcastle out into no man's land. 3 Red Sox converge. You feel better with Trevor Story making plays like these.
And that's just a tough play, right?
And that one fielded, fired, and got it. To-back plays by Franco ends the top of the 4th, but damage done. 2 solo bombs by...
Line to right, Myers coming in into the slide to make the catch. Nicely done.